maybe because I just don't have enough information. But I feel like Renegades is going to have that clutch factor.
We'll see whether or not that is going to be the case. It's looked a little bit shaky so far for Renegades in this tournament, but I think you can probably say the same for Order. Both of them have found their way into the lower bracket in some way, shape, or form. And of course, we'll have to see how they do match up against one another. Renegades will start off on the CT side of Vertigo. Order keeping an eye on ramp and mid, and Valiance starts quite nicely with the kill onto Hats. He'll have to do a little bit more, though, because Sicko has swung in for a little bit more of a challenge, and over on the other side of the map, Justillo has lost his life. So a 1-for-1 thus far. Order won't be too disappointed by that.
Yeah, we'll see what they want to go for. Only that one flash. Very little utility that's going to be impactful in this round, so you're going to definitely be keeping an eye on the rotations. Two-man setup over here towards Secret as the T's produce a little bit of control over towards ramp.
Well, Vexite probing alongside Ricky. They're still a little bit wary that there might be someone at the sandbags, but that's now been cleared, and Order will start to have a proper look in toward the bomb site. The only one really defending from there at the moment was Alistair, but Sicko does chime in with one, and Inns biding his time patiently. Doesn't quite manage to take advantage of the element of surprise, but he still builds enough of a decoy for the kills to come through from Sicko. Valiance wrapping behind, gets himself the freebie onto Malta, but still 2 to final with only 20 seconds left on the clock. Not too many chances there for him in the end. Renegades will win the pistol round on Vertigo.
And that's actually a big pistol. Renegades has actually only won 50% of their pistols on Vertigo thus far, whereas Order's won a ton more of their pistols. And also, this is a pistol won by Renegades on, in theory, Order's stronger half. So if you're going to have an impactful pistol, where it's got to be on a map where you're not winning many of the pistols in the first place, only 50% of them compared to your opponent's, 85% or something. And also it's on the map, on in theory, the stronger side for your opponent. So that's a big win for Renegades. Order, they actually aren't going to second round bye. They take the save here.
That's, I feel like a bit non-standard at this point.
Yeah, we at least for the Oceanic teams, right? And look at Renegades. They've read it very well. You know, all MP9s and SMGs across the board. They're going to farm up all the cash. They haven't invested in any rifles at all.
Bit of a mind game on both sides, I suppose. And it seems to be Renegades that will come off the better for it. Of course, you know, these things aren't written in stone, so maybe there is still something in this round for Order. If they really do manage to pull off a little bit of a sneaky beaky with those Glocks, but the reality is that there's not too many chances, unfortunately. And good coverage on mid from Renegades is also a positive sign. Inns kind of keeping a look there. Hats was also hanging around. Sicko just at that jump up as well. Order playing a very, very slow pistol round here. Well, I should say eco round, I suppose, but
yeah,
they're not really doing a whole lot.
It is more so, I feel like, just trying to give Renegades enough rope to hang themselves with, and that's kind of what Alistair does. He goes hunting in towards ramp, looking for some of those eco kills, and that's where Order's able to play these annoying positions where they can just play off of each other, peek out. They're trying to bait Renegades into pushing out and giving them extra guns.
Hats with MP9 does relatively well, but eventually run down, and so a couple of guns do drop for Renegades, but I almost think that might not be the worst thing to happen to them. You know, that's going to mean that you're at least going to have a couple of rifles on this next coming round without the need to actually reinvest over guns that you've already bought, right? If you have 5 SMGs alive as Renegades, I think there's an incentive there to keep those 5 SMGs into the next round, and then maybe you lose the round because you don't have that firepower. We'll see what actually ends up coming through here for Renegades. It is, you know, in the end, just the 2 M4s out for Hats and Alistair to be expected, and you know, I almost don't think that's the worst thing to happen to them, to be honest.
Well, see how it does end up breaking down. Order with a very solid buy here. They've been quite conservative with their purchases so far this half. Didn't invest too much in that eco round, only the single P250. So they have plenty of utility to play with, and they're not really investing too much in this ramp control. Malta, though, and Inns able to find the first 2 picks. This is absolutely huge for Renegades. If they can close out this round, then they're going to be in a phenomenal position going forward.
Yeah, Malta just caught with a bit of util in hand as Vexite pops his head up on the A ramp. And that pegs at least 1 kill back, but it's still a numbers advantage for Renegades. They have a couple of players over toward A here, still a couple over toward B. Sharp from Vexite. What a shot onto Ins. And that might spice the round up a little bit.
Sure. He's got full control of that con. Just holding that deep angle. Ysillo, progression utility, trying to get the C4 across to the site and set up for this post plant. Another great shot from Vexite. Man's on fire right now.
Yeah, well, so is Sicko as he drops down into that Molotov. All of a sudden, the round has just shifted away from Renegades. Sicko and Hats stuck behind a couple of smokes. Have a lot of work to do here, and I suppose there is the incentive to go for it because there is money to buy into the next round for Renegades, but now that Sicko has lost his buddy, he'll just try to save the M4, which will, you know, be quite beneficial for Renegades in round number 3. But man, Vexite, if he's going to hit shots like that, then today might be Order's day, and it might be the first time since I can remember that we see Renegades getting knocked out of a top 4 tournament. It almost doesn't feel possible, to be honest, Pilski. Like, you think about all those tournaments we casted back in 2020, all of the ones that have happened so far in 2021, every single one has been won by Renegades.
Yep. Yeah, they went on a massive streak. But this is a different Renegades, you know. You can't forget that. You've had a roster change since then. Had a coach come in. That was a big opportunity missed, though, by Renegades, I feel, Jordan. They started out with a 2-man advantage and essentially got 3v5'd. Some great plays in from Vexite. And actually, that's something that the stats tell us is more likely of happening as well. I mean, again, small sample size, only 6 maps, but Order actually does have a higher round win percent after receiving the first death. And that's a great example of how they've been able to turn around some of those other rounds as well.
Deagle in hand only for Alistair, so he's feeling a little bit naked without the armor. Order won't really press the issue too early on in the piece in the round. I like that. Not going to get baited into anything. It's an interesting spot to play from here for Hats. You'd normally think this is a one and done, but he should definitely get at least one here. Not the position that you'd be expecting, but Jara is a little bit too sharp. Seems to be going all the way of Order at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the problem sometimes with some of these off angles. Crosshair placement maybe not as familiar as on some more common angles, and then you don't land that first bullet headshot, get into an extended duel with an AK, and you could lose your head.
Yep.
Order, again, this is another round where you'd think Renegades might have started well, and Order are quite quickly turning it around and grinding Renegades down. Renegades, they're trying to take a bit of a risk in the mid-round here. They're pushing through middle, trying to find some information while Order sets up for this B execute.
Well, they're not just setting up for it anymore, Pilski. They're already making their way onto the bomb site. Sicko, with a couple of cursory shots through the smoke there, will just fade away. Ins might be the difference maker here if he gets that wrap behind going and is able to catch 1 or 2 off guard. Alistair, perhaps the decoy man, Deagle in hand. He is unlikely to get a whole lot of work done here, but you know, maybe for Renegades, it's not even a case of trying to make the retake happen. It's just looking for 1 or 2 exit frags, and that could well and truly fall into the hands of Ins if Order backs out back down the stairs, which does appear to be the direction that they're headed in. And Ins is certainly waiting there. So if they do overstep, Ins will take a head or 2 off. And that's Vexite to full. Information now given over to Order. Renegades well aware of that. Ins will back off, and both teams will survive with 3. 2 apiece is the scoreline.
I mean, Alistair doesn't really save anything of note, though. He was Deagle armorless, so he's going to hold that over into the next round, and Renegades interested to see what their approach is going to be economically here. Do they save? Because they've got a couple of members sitting on around 2k. So yeah, they're just going to even out their money across the board and look to buy in towards the next round, maybe try to do some damage or have an outside shot of taking this round away with what they have held over from that last round. As for Order, they're getting their economy off to a pretty good start, especially if they can get through this one cleanly.
Malta with only a pistol. Same for Hats. And even for Alistair, only an upgraded pistol. There's not really a whole lot to defend with for Renegades. Even the util is looking quite sadly lacking. But you know, it sort of seems to be the same style from Order. Malta had his chances there, didn't he? Drew a bit of an outline around Ustillo, but it sort of feels like it's the same approach to the same to these rounds for Order, right? Where They get a bit of map control down the bottom of a ramp. They don't go too quickly. They sort of group up inevitably and start to push their way into a site once they've felt comfortable with the position that they've set up. And I mean, so far it's been working for them, so can't really complain.
I mean, yeah, we saw a little bit of reflection from Ricky in the interview, who said that he felt that they needed to be a little bit more patient and that we were making a few more mistakes than normal. So at least so far, that's what you're seeing from Order. Very composed, slow, methodical gameplay.
Bomb plant goes down. It's felt like a pretty, again, I want to say the word slow start to the map. And I suppose that comes from the fact that we haven't actually seen a proper gun round so far. You know, there was the round where Renegades had a few SMGs and a couple of M4s behind it, but we haven't seen a full buyout from the CT side yet. That's going to be coming next round. And I think that's where it really feels like the match kind of gets started. You know, depending on how well that round goes, though, I mean, that could definitely be a real step in the wrong direction for Renegades. If it goes the way of Order, they keep that momentum rolling. They start to really build up the money. Renegades start to get into a bit of a hole, and perhaps the T side can run away with things. We'll see. Renegades are going to get the buy through. It won't be the best buy of all time, but it's definitely going to be the best buy that they've had so far.
I mean, yeah, look, it should be okay at this point. With the amount that they've saved, we're what? 3 rounds on the loss bonus at this point. Should be okay. You know, you do see a Fabus there. You got an AWP. You got 3 M4s, decent utility, bit of extra cash in the bank there on Sicko. But they're going to need to be pretty consistent here on the CT side, because Order has built up a bit of money in for this ramp control once again. Not a... that was literally autopilot. I say AWP on Sicko. Of course, it's the AWP on Alistair, but it's just how many times did we cast Renegades in 2020 and go, hey, they got an AWP. It's on Sicko. Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, Alistair does actually have to go armorless to get that AWP out, and he's going to be forced off of the line by the Molotov. Inz is there to help out. Shots all over the place. Alistair scurrying to get back in the sight, and both he and Inz will survive. On the other side of the map, though, Malta did fall, so that's a bit of a deficit already for Renegades.
I mean, again, Order completely slowing things down, waiting for Renegades to put a toe out of line. And we saw this be quite effective from ex-Direwolves against both Order and Renegades. This exact kind of playstyle on the T side, where you're contesting parts of the map. When you do find yourself an advantage, you just really slow things down and try to bleed extra mistakes out of the CT side. And of course, they're going to be pushing. They're going to be trying to find something. They got nothing in the back pocket, no utility. They were down a player. See the no-scope come out from Secret. In the meanwhile, they're clean all of this A side out, and surely the bomb goes back to meet him.
Well, Hat's got the double kill on B, which actually steadies the ship a little bit for Renegades. Back to the 2-on-2. You're right. Order has got control of the A bomb site, but Sicko has worked his way across quite quickly, and he might catch Ricky on the timing. He was not expecting that at all. It was an open plant by Ricky, as opposed to the safe default plant. And that has cost him. It leaves Vexite now in the 1-on-2, and look, Vexite's pretty sharp. We've seen him do it already tonight. This is definitely a winnable round for him. Let's see. There's the first. It's onto the low HP player, though, so Sicko's still in with a chance. Taps the bomb, knows where Vexite's coming from, but a headshot secures the round, and Order go up 4-2.
That round was a mess, absolute mess. You got into the early 5-on-4 for Order. They really were trying to bleed those extra mistakes out, sow some seeds of doubt by going towards A and going towards B simultaneously. Really trying to hold on to the map control they worked hard for while defaulting out. See some great multi-frags come in, some great individual plays. Nice shot with the no-scope out of Alistair. But if you put Vexite in a 2-on-1, I mean, current form, man's going to win it, even against Renegades. And that is going to break the CT economy once again.
And the same approach from Order. Probing a little bit here and there at the bottom of the ramp, but not getting too overeager in any of these rounds. Really waiting to see if Renegades is going to make a mistake, give them a frag.
I mean, it's not exciting Counter-Strike if you like your big plays and all that, but it's a good game of Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
a bit more of a chess match.
Good fundamentals from Order so far. Ustillo might lose his life to Inz. We did see Ricky on the AWP just falling off. So no chance of a trade. That brings it back to 4-on-4. The gun, however, not retrieved yet by Renegades. It's not any massive advantage given over to the CT side that Order will be perturbed by. And they're going to quietly creep their way up scaffolding. They haven't been spotted just yet. Malta in the sandbags. He's going to have a little bit to think about as Sicko does get some shots onto Gyra's legs. Malta rotates his way back into the site. And now we pick up the pace. Vexite not able to hold on to that spray, but the trade is in there. Still a 2-on-2, and the bomb is dropped in an awkward spot for Order. Smoke's coming down. Not a great one in the end there, but it still does enough to obscure the vision of Malta.
Guns trying to be juggled away as we go to double rifle here. Only 20 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, gonna have to get the bomb down pretty quickly. Luckily for Order, there are some pieces of util dropped on the ground, but Hats and Sicko, they combine for the kill onto Gyra, and now it's on to Ricky. He's not gonna look to plant the bomb, looks to take the fight, and Malta knows exactly what to do, and that is run away. And that is gonna win the round 4 Renegades. Not one that Order would be happy to be letting slip, because it feels like they've done all the hard work, and now they've kind of given a little bit too much leeway back to the Renegades.
I mean, regardless of round win or loss, this was going to be a strong buy-in for Renegades, but obviously, you know, you'll take every round win that you can get. Bit of a case of Order's slow, methodical, you know, approach that they're employing right now, coming back to bite them, putting a little bit too much time off the clock, maybe giving too many opportunities. Not the case this time. Very, very fast progression, straight up ramp, Vexite. We saw a triple entry here against X-Direwolves, just running up ramp by himself. This time, does seem like he's taking things a little slower.
Yeah, just watching out to see if there's going to be a boost from Renegades. No such luck thus far. Are they thinking about it? I don't think so. Malta and in is just a bit of spam. Back down onto ramp. Alistair catches Vexite once again, trying to get up to his usual tricks. You slow a nice frag, keeps himself safe from the line that the AWP is posted on, but he's essentially stuck there now. Won't be able to get out without some assistance, at least from his teammates. There it is, but Ustillo still drops. The numbers continuing to favor Renegades in this round.
Yeah, it's just such an awkward exchange. You still just haven't been able to clear out this secret and dig area for Order. They've never got comfortable enough to wrestle that site control, and now they have no utility to do it. They're going to have to go in and find these entries.
Well, not being able to do so. Alistair having a pretty nice round with the AWP. Malta cleans up Valiance, and Gyra is just left thinking about what happened in this round. He's going to want to try and do a bit more economic damage here if he can, but he's only got 25 seconds to work with, and obviously a lot of players to chew through. Still, he does isolate that duel against Malta. So one more gun taken away from Renegades.
Just trying to fake the footsteps away, seeing if he can bait any more CTs into his angles. But after all said and done, that's a Renegades round through and through, and they're starting to pick up a little bit more momentum now. Half buy into 3 alive in the buy, returning both AWPs. That's going to be a pretty clean buy into the next as well, whereas Order, yeah, their money's looking a bit shaky. They're starting to run out of cash here. Even if they do want to put together a buy here around that AK that was saved, it's going to be a little bit lackluster, a little bit light on the util or the firepower for sure.
Tack timeout for Order. Plenty to think about. They had a very solid position at the start of this half. Now it seems to have, I don't know, not necessarily slipped away, you know, because they're definitely not out of this discussion by any means, but they have allowed Renegades back into it, and that is always a dangerous prospect. Money's still not great on the CT side, however. So any little problem, any little speed bump for Renegades could put them back into a pretty dangerous spiral themselves. It is going to be the buy through from Order, of course. Lots of util out for Ricky and Valiance, and Gyra already as well is going to put them in good stead, but not sure that they have enough money for full rifles across the board, so might have to see a few hero AKs coming in and doing a bit of that work.
Yep, more than likely. And you're right, I mean, this is going to be a bit of a swing round for whoever wins it. Order having a lot less to work with here, down to 2 deagles. Util quite limited, as we were discussing before. So they need to find one of these entries. That's what was really lacking in that last round. They just didn't get any momentum. They didn't find the pick that they were looking for. Oh, Gyra, he's just got 100 to 0.
Wow.
Oh, that is the worst possible scenario for that to happen. Malta has found an off angle as well. Just catches Ricky with his pants down. This is falling apart for Order.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, isn't it? Because they had put all of their eggs into this basket. They really hoped to get a bit of work done in this round. And now, 3 on 5, you don't often see those get overturned. Renegades is feeling no pressure at all. They don't need to do anything anymore on this CT side. They can just wait patiently for Order to come to them. Stay posted on their lines. That's exactly what they're doing. No movement at all from the CTs. I've just been watching the map the whole time I've been speaking. No, not a single one of those players has moved an inch.
This was the same as the last round as well. There was no duels being taken by Renegades. They were just patient, relying on those double orbs, waiting for Order to put a few toes out of line and then just chomping them off straight away. Oh, man. Order, 30 seconds on the clock and then still just trying to go for a boost and look for a pick. And these are the kind of, that burning 100-0 in a molly, getting caught off guard. These are the kind of mistakes that are very uncharacteristic for Order, but you've seen a couple of them this tournament. I don't know if they're getting into this side either. Jordan Hats has just been multi-fragging up a storm over here.
Yeah, this is starting to get a bit worrisome for Order now that Renegades get around like that. That's the one that opens the floodgates. It brings all the money into the bank of Renegades. And now they start to look more and more confident on that CT side. It's taken a little while to get into this one. I feel like this half has been very slow. We're only still 9 rounds in to the first map of the series. But I think Renegades have arrived and the going is getting a bit tougher for Order now.
Half the battle is wrestling control of that CT side economy. And I think Renegades, if they don't take substantial damage in this round, and I mean, I'm looking at 3 Glocks, then I dare say they have already kind of secured themselves some economy control, much needed. They've got that double AWP pumping as well, a couple of AKs to boot. Never hurts to have that one-tap potential. We're not on that A1S patch just yet.
I'm a big fan of the A1S, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Too long have we been hearing the M4A4 around the map, in my opinion.
You love your pew-pew.
I actually do think it sounds better. Unironically, I think the M4A1S sounds better than the A4.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't think it's much of a competition, really. The A4 it sounds a bit derpy. Either way, irrelevant discussions aside, Order, they need to try to find, a pick or two. It's really what they want to be looking for there. Malta takes a bit of damage and they get the AWP swap out as well. Here's the boost up of the D.
I mean, I don't think having Malta on the AWP is necessarily the worst thing in the world.
Oh,
Used to be a secondary AWP for this roster when he initially joined back in the Greyhound days. I think that was one of the reasons he actually moved over to the team, because he did want to give that secondary AWP a crack. Obviously, that's a long time ago now, and the team looks very different, and so does his role in the team, but see what Siggo can do.
wow.
Don't have to do a whole lot just to get that first one onto Valiance. Ins and Hats are there for cleanups, and 6-4. You don't see a single pick in that round from Order.
Yeah. The thing is, right, you're seeing Order play this slow, methodical style, but there's no edge to it right now. They're not finding the opening kills. They're not finding the entries. And there has been very little pace change-ups from Order thus far. And Renegades, it almost kind of feels like they've adapted to this. They're not feeding excess picks. They seem to be trying to punish Order when they contest certain parts of the map. So what is Order's adaptation? Because they're going to need it to work for a little bit here. Because, like I said, CT economy has had time to build up now.
Well, Malta not in the worst of positions to play with that MP9. A bit wary of Gyro rolling around the corner there, so he'll pop his smoke back down pretty quickly. Vexite looked like he wanted to try to pick the pace up a little, but Malta will survive for now. Unless he cops a stray headshot through the smoke. Playing with fire there.
Again, pretty down-tempo round. Not a whole lot going on. Order holding a lot of their utility for the mid to late round. Renegades a little bit more active this time. Alistair goes looking for a pick. Bit of a missed opportunity. Obviously hard to counter-strafe at the right time when you're caught off guard a little. Now Order clearing out the sandbags, trying to prog up towards Secret and set up for this A execute. But Alistair has found success the second time around with that middle pick.
Oh, Malta gets Gyro down to 8 HP, barely takes a lick of damage in response. It still continues to favor Renegades. The more and more we see of these rounds, 33 seconds left in it, and Order are starting to run out of ideas. I think they're going to work their way up ramp. They've got a bit of util here, but I mean, they don't have time, Pilsky. They can't be sitting here. They can't be waiting. They have to pick the pace up. There's a flash. Proactive gameplay from Renegades. And Malta finds 2. Any chance in the round here for Order is gone. With that kill from Inns as well, the Valiants. It just seemed like Order got to a position there on ramp, and they didn't really do anything. Renegades were the ones that were happy to take the opportunity. And it wasn't, if it wasn't the headshot from Hats, I think the nade might have got it done for him there. Gyro will fall. 7-4 the scoreline. Another clean round from Renegades.
Yeah, I mean, he was looking to try to kill him after time. Luckily, Gyro doesn't die after time. But that flash from Sicko, that was El Clasico Renegades, wasn't it? Like, he used to do send Dexter top mid on Inferno, or a similar kind of angle here on Vertigo. You know, underrated part of Sicko's gameplay. In fact, maybe some of the most important part in this team is his ability to find great timings to send his teammates in on a flash. And that's another one of them where there's 20 seconds on the clock, they flash ramp, Malta gets a double kill with an MP9. And that is just something that we didn't see too much in the game against ex-Divals. So it's good to see Renegades very switched on today. As for Order, I said that gun round, I really wanted to see something else. Their slow, methodical kind of tempo gameplay has not been working here so far on the T side. Renegades seems very comfortable against this. And there was no adaptation there. And once again, they found very little success.
I mean, Renegades is not a team that's going to shy away from making proactive plays on the CT side, especially when you have someone like Alistair on the AWP. And that's what they have alongside Sicko there as well, so...
That's a scary double AWP, man.
Yeah, probably the scariest double AWP that you're going to get in the Oceanic region.
It's like both ends of the spectrum, right? You got the one aggressive one looking for picks, and then you got the other one who's great at just playing high percentage angles, as well as being quite good at supporting his teammates.
Well, Malta doesn't seem like he needs too much support right now over on the A bomb site, though he does have Alistair there just watching the ramp cross. Did fall off the line though, and so Malta is more or less going to be left alone for now. Pops himself a flash down, will take a little bit of a peek here and there, so expecting something to happen over towards A, to be honest, but it's actually over toward B where the opening pick comes through for Order. If Malta drops, which he does, it's now a 3-on-5 favoring the T side, and this potentially is the round that Order needs to bail them out of a bit of trouble.
Yeah, we'll see. This would be a great round for Order to win. You had Renegades win themselves a half buy, so maybe it's Order's turn. C4 does get secured there, and Order actually get away into a 5-on-3 post plant.
Couple of smokes though available for Renegades, as well as a couple of flashes. So it's not dire straits just yet, but they need to start hitting some shots. They've definitely had their opportunities to take down one or two of these Order players, and they haven't been successful so far. There's the smoke onto the bomb. The defense begins. Renegades see Order push in their direction. They're not even on the defuse yet, Pilsky, and that is exactly what they needed, because they were taking that fight. 3-on-5. Inns sits the defuse. Ustilo can't find him. Hasn't got the knife kill in time. Needed the right click into the back, and he couldn't get it. Inns defuses the bomb, gets the kill as well. A bitter pill to swallow for Order in the end, as it was such a close thing. But Renegades pull through, and by virtue of all the work that they've been doing earlier in the half, their money still looks pretty good.
Time for a well, we see a Renegades timeout at the same time that Order wants to take a tech timeout, so interesting. We'll sit through this this Renegades timeout as they have a bit of a chat about that, but we might be heading into a longer timeout than just the 30 seconds, or maybe not. Does seem like the issues may have cleared up. That was a classic kind of Renegades round, wasn't it? Ninja defuses. It feels like we're watching one of those games where Renegades is going to win it, right? We're getting all the win conditions in. We're getting the proactive plays. We're getting the, aggressive AWPing. Multi-kills from the riflers locking down positions, and even some ninja defusers to boot.
8-4. how different this half looks to the position that we were in even 4 rounds ago. You know, where it felt like maybe there was still a pretty good chance for Order. That's a nice way to start things off. Good flash from Valiance. And a nice finish sunk by Ricky. So go down early on in the piece. Renegades actually have to play this one out 4-on-5, which is not a position they've had to have been in so far on the CT side. However, a very sharp, very nice shot from Alistair. Barely could see Vexite and brings it back to 4-on-4. And that is just what you're going to get when you have Alistair on the AWP.
That was a filthy shot. And now Order setting up for this play towards B. You had some more probing there from Gyro over towards the A site. He's trying to keep the rotations honest, but Renegades are actually starting to float back towards B. Hats on the secondary AWP. Going to drop a Molotov to buy time for the rotations.
So instead he wins the race once again from Order. They aren't going to go too quickly. Valiant's just waiting patiently for Hats, who peeks into his sightline. Now it's on to Malta. And he's done well. Now needs to try and survive. Spots Ustillo out as well. There's a re-smoke coming across from Alistair. Renegades are really forcing Order to work hard for these bomb sites. And in the end, Order's not even interested in the bomb site anymore. They're going to move their way back over to A. Gyro's gotten a lot of map control.
This could be the most critical duel. Ins rounding the corner that Gyro's already got locked down. How does he win that? That's going to put a bit of a wrench in the plans here for Order, who do not have a smoke for the cross.
Yeah, they really needed that aim duel, didn't they? 16 seconds left. If Gyro's locking the bomb site down, this round looks so different, but now it's so difficult for Ricky and Ustillo to get onto the bomb site, and even if they do, they might not have time to plant the bomb. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Have they got it down in time? I'm not so sure. Just about for Ricky there, but they knew he had to sit the bomb. They knew it was a 1-on-2, and here it is once again. Malta finishes it off against Ricky. Nicely played by Renegades. And Order will be a bit disappointed to lose that one because it was so close to being within their grasp once again. I mean, how many times have I said that this half? So many close opportunities for Order, but there's just that extra 5% or 10% right now for Renegades, and they're being able to convert all those half chances.
I mean, it was just that critical aim duel. Gyro needs to win that aim duel against Ins to keep that side control. And unfortunately, it doesn't end up going that way. Order, again, really running the clock down, making a really late round play. Contingency back towards A side of the map. And sometimes when you do that, you have literally no room for error. That's a great little leg. Ricky's been great on this counter AWP so far. Opened up the round last time. Has deterred Alistair for further peaks, at least for the moment.
Yeah, but even then, Order wasn't able to win the 4-on-5 last round when Ricky opened things up. It's not even a 4-on-5 this time. I mean, you still have Alistair there with the AWP. He can still do damage. 16 HP. It's definitely not the be-all, end-all for Renegades. So, yes, it's an advantage. It's a slim one, though, for Order. They work their way up ramp this time. I think a little bit earlier in the round than what we've been seeing them progress in on the T side so far.
No secret control this time for Renegades. Just relying on that two-man setup. Or with Malta on the line next to it.
Malta going to peek for the info once again. Seen him do that a little bit this half. Sometimes with the MP9, this time with the M4, but no heads are waiting. And this is kind of the second or third time I've seen Order get to this position on ramp and then really slow down the progression. It has bitten them in the back a couple of times, and there it will again. Malta once more making that proactive gameplay happen. He finds the peak, he finds the damage, he finds the information, and Renegades are going to start to make their way across. Sicko not able to land the shot on the Vex side that might have sealed the deal for the round, and he also has a chance against Ustillo, neither of which connect.
Oh,
and the round will be looking very difficult.
Exactly that. Look at this wrap from Valiance. If Order can buy enough time for this flank to come in, that could be round winning.
They're doing as much as they can with the utility that they've got. Slow and steady wins the race here for Valiance. He doesn't want to make a footstep, doesn't want to make any sound. But he is going to come in behind Alistair and probably Sicko there as well. Tap on the bomb, peek from the rest of Order. But Valiance is striking from behind. For some reason, Alistair is watching, but he can't clutch out the 1-on-2. And Order, after a drought of so many rounds, 7 in a row for Renegades, have finally managed to grab one right at the end of the half. It's not going to save their half, though, Pilski. There's still more work to do here. Renegades can still get to double digits, and they've got enough money to do so. But it's a chance back in for Order to what looked like a very tough half.
Yeah, pieces came together that time. They got that critical duel, really. I thought it was falling apart when they lost that pick to Malta through Secret. I thought they weren't going to be able to stay composed. But credit to them, Gyra goes up, clears out Secret. That was kind of the critical duel that had to go their way. Last round of the half here. Oh, that's a beautiful kill. Another entry from Gyra.
Yeah, but INZ doubles down, goes one better. And so for all the hard work that Gyra has done, there's still a numbers advantage for Renegades in the final round of the half.
Well, Order going to try and turn around this 3-on-5. You see Vexite searching for a pick towards ramp, set up towards Sandbag and Secret, while the rest of Order wrapping back towards the B side of the map. But this is a great two-man setup from the last two players of Renegades. You've got Hats back there on the Thamus with Flash ready. Vexite, though, almost doubles up.
INZ continues to lock things down over on the A-bomb site, and he's got a great position to gather information from. So Renegades pretty aware that there's not a whole lot happening on A just yet. They haven't rotated an extra player across. They've still got Hats kind of playing a float position. INZ will stay behind the sandbags, which I think is a ballsy position to play, considering he's already been spotted there. But maybe you don't expect him to stay there. That's the brilliance of INZ. 4 kills in this round, on for the ace. Ricky knows where he is, has a Molotov, but you'd half expect INZ to still win this aim duel and take the ace at the end of the half. He certainly wants it. There's a flash for him forward. Ricky ducks down, does get the better of INZ, but CSGO, of course, there for the trade. So no fairy tale finish for INZ, no ace at the end of the half, but still the 10th round for Renegades. Back into the second half, and it was a relatively routine first half, I felt, there between Renegades and Order. Nothing too flashy, nothing too crazy, some pretty standard gameplay. Renegades looking like they've got the goods this evening, Pilski. 10-5 in the first half is definitely a scoreline that they will be happy with.
Yeah, I was talking about it. That was the favoured half for both of these squads. Oh, hold on. They're going very quickly into B here, I think.
Well, they have slowed down just a second to clear out as much as they can from the stairs position. In fact, they've slowed down a lot. Maybe just waiting to see if there's going to be any re-aggression from the CT side.
Ricky's all the way down ramp, so Order has full information on exactly what's happening, and they've been able to rotate accordingly. Renegades looking like they're going to go for a mid to B split here.
A lot of tags onto Ustillo, down to 49 HP. That gives away the game, though, for Renegades, that there's some presence towards B. Vexite spotting players out in mid, but it's Ustillo doing the dirty work on the stairs, getting himself a double. He can set up a defense over here toward B, but that's not going to matter because Renegades are high-tailing it toward A. They get there in time as well. They make the cross before Ustillo can spot them. No, they don't. But they do still manage to get across, and the bomb plant's going down, safe from Ricky on ramp. An awkward position to play from between a bit of a sandwich here for Renegades, but there is still some ham fighting back. If we're going to continue with that analogy, Pilski. Ustillo, now a 1-on-2. He needs to get it done on his own, and he cannot. He did so much good work at the start of the round, but the ham is just a bit too strong.
Yeah, like one of those triple smoked hams.
Yep, triple smoked ham sandwich with a bit of cheese in there as well.
It's just a bit extra. Whatever happened to Devon and tomato sauce, you know?
Actually, I'm a fan.
Yeah, actually underrated. Alrighty. Well, force buy out here for Order. They didn't go for a force buy on their T side, but they have gone for one on their CT side. Only one player over here. It's just Valiant to hold down the B side by himself. He's getting swarmed, fully flashed by all the Ts. And that's not a position you want to be in with a Deagle.
Alistair just doesn't stop with that Mag 10, does he? Eventually has to slow down for the reload, but he continues to look for fights, looks to challenge, provides enough space for that bomb plant to go down, and now Renegades are looking incredibly solid in the post plant. 5-on-4. It doesn't seem like Order really wants to take much of a challenge into this round. They're more than happy to try and save the weapons through for the second. It'll obviously increase their chances at another round here, but bit of a bitter pill to swallow for that one, unfortunately.
Better than going into the next round with full USPs. That was a bit of a scissors, paper, rock situation, unfortunately. You can run into those when you're, doing those kind of setups. Definitely don't blame Order for that. I mean, when you're going for those force buys, you do want to cut corners against the team with the superior buys. But unfortunately, like I said, that opens you up to some of those scissors, paper, rock situations where old mate's on B by himself and they go for a quick B, and at the end of the day, that's essentially not a situation you could deal with unless Valiance is hitting every head on the way into that site. But Mance could not see, and Renegades going up against this force once again. Just one gun light up for Order, who are looking to full buy into that next.
Similar strategy. Valiant's the one isolated over toward the B bomb side again. And he's hearing a bunch of footsteps. Alistair certainly not trying to be sneaky.
Meanwhile, though, Renegades progressing over towards this A ramp side a little bit, applying a little bit of pressure, just trying to keep the rotations from Order honest. You can see they're walking back and forth towards B, a little bit confused about what's going on. Here's this push towards B once again in the mid round. Valiant's PTSD from last round.
Alistair stands in the fire for half a second, cops a little bit of damage. Valiant does a decent job against Sicko, and now Vexite's here to help out on the B bomb site. Not really something that Renegades had to deal with last round. Vexite, where has that come from? Bomb plant a little bit more precarious now for Malta. There's the boost up here from the CT side as well. Hats has not cleared that. Smoke's gone down by Generator. And Malta now gets the information that there are two on jump up. They don't know where that third player is. Gyra coming from the stairs. Hats is still kind of keeping an eye on it, but that is a very awkward position to play from now for Renegades. Again, the sandwich between a couple of sides from Order. They do, though, deal with Gyra. Walter will fall. It's on to Hats. Time is kind of favoring him, but on the defuse now is Ustillo. It's a full 10-second defuse. Hats! Nice spam. Will fall eventually. And Ricky doesn't quite have time for the defuse. He's going to pick up the MAC-10 and hightail it out of there. Renegades, I mean, they still win the round, but they lose a lot of guns in doing so.
Yeah, it ends up being worth holding on to all 4 of those guns to go for damage in this round. Almost netted Order that round. They almost stole that away. Renegades, though, like you said, maybe a little bit of that blessing in disguise effect, although you never want to lose all your guns like that against a half buy. Now they get to go into a proper full buy, AWP, all the bells and whistles, and the same can be said for Order. So we're going to get pretty early on here, round number 4. A very clean gun round from both sides, but just a little bit of extra money for Renegades to work through, whereas Order, they're scraping the bottom of the bank account in this first one.
And
no kits either.
That's true. They won't want to let the bomb plant go down. Otherwise, we run into a very similar situation to what we had in that previous.
Pretty slow and methodical round so far. That smoke was a little bit unorthodox from Ustillo. Oh my lord. Just finds a great timing, great raw adjustment to be able to pick that first player. Ricky's going to trade one back, but that is a ramp control loss, which means a lot of information taken away from the CTs. They're not really going to be able to inform their rotates here. Still pressure towards B, stairs, as well as middle on the lurk here from Sicko. Wow, what a timing.
Yep. And it's going to bite Valiance in the backside. Although, Sicko, I thought he might fall to Gyra. Doesn't. Can get the job done with the rifle as well, it seems. 13 might very quickly turn into 14 here for Renegades. And it's just so weird, right? It's felt like it's been a reasonably competitive map, but the scoreline would just say that is absolutely incorrect.
Yeah. I think Renegades have just won a lot of these mid to late round situations. Order going to still give this one a crack. Vexite, very low on HP though. And he's just going to die to Alistair, strafing back off the bomb site. Ricky, you don't want to try to complete a retake with just an AWP 1v3, trying to run through all that utility. Too many close angles to deal with, not even going to matter. Gets picked on the cross by Alistair, who jumps up towards the end of that round. 14-5 for Renegades, money broken for Order. I mean, it kind of says it all. This has been a very one-sided game. Renegades have just been coming up clutch time and time again.
Yeah, I think it's a good point, right? Those mid to late rounds have been really successful for Renegades, and that is one of the biggest assets that we always talked about for Renegades, even back so far as the Greyhound days. So it's good to see that transitioning across here onto Vertigo, onto, you know, a newer look roster. Again, obviously this roster has been around for a while now, but you get my point.
Yeah, I think, look, that there just didn't seem to be any of this X Factor up against X-Divals. It almost felt like they would get into a lackluster position, and then the round would just go by the wayside. Speaking of which, those are some dirty deagle shots from Gyra. He found another one as well.
Oh, see if they can dig themselves out. I don't think there is going to be any them in this conversation, though. It's just ins. Can ins dig themselves out of this kind of a situation? I'm not so sure. He'll have to get the ace. He's only got 37 HP to work with, and guns have been retrieved. That is Order back into the swing of things. 6 rounds in the map so far, and they'll definitely look to improve upon that.
They picked 3 guns up as well, 2 AKs and an AWP, I believe. So that's a bit of a money swing. They were saving that round, so that will definitely help them with this comeback. But, oh boy, they got a lot of work to do. Renegades straight back onto a buy as well. Obviously, it is a little bit lacking because they did kind of just get upset, which is why I talk about that. Those kind of rounds being massive money swing rounds.
Well, it'll all be for naught if Renegades just win this next round and put it up to 15. It's just another nail in the coffin then for Order.
Yeah, they're not favoured to do so though. Just based off the weaponry and the utility, Order has pretty much every advantage you could want. That's a pretty filthy leg shot onto Ustillo. Let's see. If Order was going to put a comeback together, those are the kind of rounds that they need to be winning that Deeg round.
Yep.
There's that Bogdan's Law coming in. Ustillo gets chucked the AWP.
Oh, timing here for Hats. I think he spotted the head of Vexite. Not sure that Vexite spotted him.
That's almost going to be a bait, though. Ustillo's now on this angle, I think. Hats does not choose to round the corner. Malta doing such a great job applying pressure on the lurk once again. Going and looking for an entry, and he actually does find a lot of damage onto the second player as well.
Well, you two are getting tossed out onto the A-bomb side. That's where the real offensive is going to come from. So all of Malta's shenanigans along in the past. It's on to the rest of the Renegades to make this one work. Hats finds himself a nice little off angle to catch Ricky, and Alistair with the AWP once again does not miss. Gyra sees his teammates fall before his eyes, and he sees perhaps the chances of a comeback on Vertigo doing the same.
That's just massive from Malta. Man strolls straight up into the B site, gets an entry, puts 50 damage into Gyra. That kind of puts a little bit of doubt in Order's mind that maybe this is a B hit, especially after he finds success over there. They start to rotate just that little bit, and that's exactly when Renegades goes into A. Completely different round if Malta just gets cleaned up towards B there. Look, it's a nice timing for Gyro, but it's 15-6. He really needs to hold on to this rifle. He's looking to try to go pick up that AWP in the late round after the C4 explosion goes off. And he's going to get it. Almost loses his life. You can see Alistair ran over there. He was on the angle. Doesn't connect the shot. So look, that AWP being saved, as well as a rifle being able to be purchased by Gyra, and a little bit of extra cash in the bank, thanks to that Deagle half buy, means that Order can buy. But your point remains valid, Jordan. It doesn't matter if they can't win a round.
It also doesn't matter if they can't win 9 rounds in a row at this point either, Pilski. So maybe they can win a round. I'll give that to Order. I definitely think that's possible. But 9 in a row? I don't think so.
Not tonight. I don't think so either. Just haven't looked confident enough, really, I think. Giving Renegades a lot of respect, a lot of room on both of these halves.
Ooh,
that's a nice start to the round.
That's a very nice start to the round. Gyra just puts Hats and Sicko to bed. I mean, I guess that's not just a start to the round. Probably also an end to the round, to be fair. Inns and Alistair, 2-on-5. That seems like wishful thinking.
I don't know, man. I guess I'm a Renegades fanboy, huh?
Maybe.
Seen it happen.
Oh, yeah. Look, anything is possible.
Hey, look, Jordan, you put Inns as your #1 player on the geographically challenged top 20 Oceania and Asia as well, so...
Yep. Dexter was #2, if I remember correctly, so... A couple of Renegades players managing that. Alistair was in the top 10 too. But that was back when he was on Order. See if he can pull off some magic against his old team. Nice couple of shots from Inns. Now the boost up from Alistair. You start to see it coming together a little bit for Renegades. If Alistair hits this next shot with the AWP, that allows the bomb plant to go down. But instead, it will be Ricky. And Inns is starting to burn alive. He hasn't got much room to work with. He's being collapsed upon from behind. And Order will salvage another.
Salvage being the key word. That's a big impact one to win, though. You do have the full reset here for Renegades. 2 players sitting around 1,400, 1,500. So they're in that double eco territory. Renegades going to have a timeout, discuss what is the best method to not lose this massive lead and close this game out. Should we force buy because 2 of us are on double eco and we can afford at least 1 AK armor? Or should we take the path of least resistance, potentially go for a double eco, and see where we go from there? I think when you're at that map point, you're less so concerned with the CT economy building up. You are going to get a force up here. So, I mean, that's part and parcel of exactly what I said. You have a little bit of money to be able to get that 1 hero AK, and you have 2 players who are going to double eco anyway, so no real harm in trying to give it a crack. There are definitely situations where you're so far ahead you should never force, but I don't think this is one of them. Wow.
That's not started off very nicely at all. It's like they started the round with a massive deficit.
First all pick, lose 60 HP on 2 players. Like, these last couple of rounds from Order have looked immaculate. Like, just absolutely destroying the T side. Not even a close round at all.
Maybe they heard
Unfortunately, it's taken a little bit too long, I think.
Yeah. I might have heard you saying there was no chance. And I also said no chance for 9, but hey, what if? What if it would be the comeback of the century for Order? Certainly would be a game we'd be talking about for years to come, but they're not even halfway there yet. Still a lot more work to do, and Renegades are going to try and find their way still into this A bomb site. Nades being lined up for the CT side, and they might not even be needed because Ricky is hitting everything right now with the AWP. An O-scope just to sweeten the deal. And now it's Sicko to fall. There's 8 up for Order.
Now they go into the anti-eco. Bomb plant was achieved for Renegades, so that might afford them maybe some deagles and things like that. Go into the next round, try to go for a little bit of damage. Nolta just trying to send it through the smoke onto the player in connector.
Not much to really write home about for Renegades here. Just the standard pistols coming through. But they know at least where the AWP is. Some nice work on the jump spot. However, it cost Alistair his life in the end.
So plenty of cash for Order. They're not really going to have any issues putting together buys, even if some of these rounds get close. They can definitely replace the weaponry and utility that they've been working with, which is good news. If you want that Order comeback to potentially be a reality, the worst thing that you possibly want to see is a round is won with 1 player surviving or so, and then they can't put a good buy together. It's like MP9s and Fabuses.
Well, that round was over quickly. It does still kind of feel like delaying the inevitable, you know? And it's kind of harsh to say because I think Order's been doing a pretty good job in these last few rounds. But as you said a bit before, it needed to happen earlier. It needed to happen when they had 3 or 4 rounds to play with. And then we could have started to say, hey, actually, maybe the scoreline then would have been maybe 12-9. And that doesn't look so bad. But 15-9, it still feels kind of unrealistic. Renegades are going to have so many buys. And they're going to have so many opportunities to finish this map off. All it takes is one small, tiny mistake from Order. And Ustilo dropping early on in the piece might just be the straw that breaks the camel's back for Order on this CT side.
Yeah, we will see. Vexite's got a lot of responsibility over towards this secret side. A 2-man aggression towards stairs as well. You can see Order really trying to go aggressive. Trying to find some of these picks. But actually, simultaneously, they give up stairs and they give up that A side of the map. Oh, hold on. They're not giving up stairs. They are regressing. Oh, no. Malta underneath.
Yeah, 2 on 4, or 5 even. Vexite might be the pop-off player they need. Oh, they lined up for him, Pilski. But it just wasn't to be in the end. So Ricky, a 1 on 4. I mean, I think that's pretty much impossible for him with the AWP. Seen him do some crazy stuff in the past. He's even made noise dropping down. So that's information over for Renegades, and it's going to make his life even more difficult. Util's getting thrown out as well, but he'll have to be aware of what's happening behind him, if not what's in front. 16-9 in the end for Renegades. A pretty clean map overall. Order